Hello fellow traders, Marv Eisen here from Timeless Dollar Trading Academy. Today I want to illustrate two different strategies using the Taylor calculator and basically when not to use it or when you maybe shouldn't use it. And I'm going to use 2 days that are very exemplary of what I'm going to talk about. Now here you see the chart on Monday, July 7th. The calculated trading range was 63.45 resistance and 63.07 support. Now, as you can see, prices started up at the bottom of the trading range and basically bumped their head against the support and then faded the trading range. Now, on a day like this, maybe it's best to not trade based on the fact that prices are fading the trading range. As you know, the prices are most likely to trade within the range. But if they don't, should you trade? Well, if you don't trade that day, nothing wrong with it. Why? You're not going to lose any money if you're wrong, okay? But if you want to stick around and wait for about an hour after the market opens, I'd say a half an hour to an hour, to see if prices are continuing in their direction that they started or they're reversing, you can make a trade. Now I'm going to show you what I mean. By about 10:30, and it's right about over here, 62.99 is where the market was trading. They hadn't taken out the high, of course, and they had just taken out the low. And so it might be a good idea, maybe take a trade and see where the trading range is going to indicate prices will go. So we clone the trading range. Now, I'm not suggesting you trade on a day like this because prices are fading the trading range. And so if we're using the trading range and we know the prices are going to trade within the trading range most of the time, maybe leave it alone, wait till a better day. But if you want to trade, you can clone your trading zone, clone it to the intraday high, which is right about over here at 63.09, and ride the market down to the low or to the transposed low at 62.72, hop on at around 62.92, so a 24 point trade if you overshoot a little over here as the market did. So perfectly fine to trade on days when prices don't print within the trading zone. Now I'm going to use another example on Wednesday, July 9th, of the same situation. Okay, here we go, Wednesday, July 9th, and the trading zone was resistance at 62.95, support 62.60, 35 point range. And look, prices immediately faded the trading range. So another day where you can decide, well, maybe leave it alone because prices are not trading within the trading range. But again, we know that prices most likely will trade within the trading range on most days. But prices are moving smartly away from the trading range very quickly. This is 9:48. Right over here, prices had already moved well above the calculated trading range. And so if we're going to look for prices to continue higher, this is a 35 point range. We can clone our trading range. But wait a minute, before you do that, again, I'm suggesting on days where the prices don't trade within the trading range, you might want to sit it out. Now, one of the things to look for on a day where prices rise quickly is what's the reason for it? What's causing it? Prices, after all, have some semblance of gravity in terms of what motivates prices to move very quickly in one direction. Now on Wednesday, July 9th, looking at the economic calendar, and I always tell you, begin the day looking at the economic calendar to see if there are going to be any announcements that are going to tend to move the market. And here, Wednesday, July 9th, 2 p.m., minutes of the Fed's May FOMC meeting. Now, as I have said so many times before, on days when there's any announcement from the FOMC, interest rate announcements, or when the Federal Reserve Chairman is going to be speaking, maybe sit that day out because that's a day where the market is going to try to play you. I'm telling you, if you are going to trade on days during an FOMC, it's going to be a volatile day for no other reason that the chairman is speaking, or the minutes of the FOMC meeting, or interest rates are going to be announced. Good idea, maybe just sit it out. So FOMC, Federal Reserve announcements, leave it alone. Leave the market alone. But I said I'm going to compare July 9th to Monday, July 7th. And on July 9th, prices moved smartly up. Why? No particular reason. Nothing happened in the early morning to motivate this price increase. At least I don't know of any. Maybe I missed something, but I don't know. But look what happened. Prices immediately, right after 10 o'clock, they began to decline. And they declined where? Well inside the trading zone. Now, is the trading zone wrong? No, the trading zone is not wrong, but it's not a good day to trade. You're likely to lose money because the market right over here was attempting to draw people in, to get them to trade to the upside, and then quickly move the market down. But the trading range wasn't wrong, because I'm going to clone this, and I'm going to take the clone and move it up to the intraday high right over here, where the market trade from the high to the low, 35 points. Maybe it shot over 2 or 3 points over, but still, the range was correct. But if you didn't know the proper entry, you wouldn't have taken advantage of this. You might have lost money thinking that, well, the prices are going to move from here, from the open at 62.95 up higher. Let me move my chart down so you can see it. And if I clone the trading range to the open over here, I think, well, if the prices are going to move continuously like this, they'll move up over here. And as you can see, they didn't. So this was the comparison of July 9th to July 7th, where prices on both days moved or faded the trading zone. Good idea to leave it alone. There are always better days where the trading zone is a perfect indicator of when to trade, where prices trade at the top or the bottom of the trading range at the start and then move up through it or move down through it. Perfect day. Or even hit the previous day's close. Now, I'm going to refer to July 8th on Tuesday, and here is where the trading zone really doesn't do you any good, except to tell you that prices are moving, prices opened at the middle of the trading zone, and I've said on days where prices open in the middle of the trading zone, it's probably a good day not to trade on those days either, okay? Now on days like this, you can use the other indicator, and I only use one other indicator, which is the stochastics. The stochastics is an oscillator, moves up and down. You can buy at the low, sell at the high, buy at the low, sell at the high, and it would have worked on Tuesday. It doesn't work all the time. Nothing works all the time. But this is a good day to use a shorter time frame, use the stochastics, scalp, but scalp in this case, there are 5 points between each horizontal line, so the scalping could be 10, 15 points per trade. Not too shabby, okay? So you can use the stochastics. I use a relatively fast stochastic 733 down here. And basically that's it. So you can use the trading zone on days where prices fade the trading zone, but you got to be careful of your entry. And set a stop. Be careful with setting a stop. And I'm not talking about a stop of 2 or 3 points. 2 or 3 points, you're going to lose every time. The market is always going to stop you out. Anyway, that's my video for today. Thanks so much for watching. Trade safely. Use lots of patience. I'll see you in my next video. Marv Eisen from Timeless Dollar Trading Academy.